Hello, this is the Rationale Extended Just Intonation music sequencing program for composing music in extended tuning systems. I am in add mode right now. There are actually 4 modes, which you can see by going to the edit menu under mode, add, edit, delete, and scrub, and you can hit A for add, E for edit, and so on. So while I'm in add mode, I have this hover following the mouse cursor around that has a frequency ratio to the left, and it cycles through a list here from 2, 1 down to 1 over 1. 1 over 1 being do, being a 1-to-1 frequency ratio with do, 2 over 1 being an octave up from that. As we all know, if you double the frequency of a note, you go up 1 octave, right? So if I now take my mouse and I click the scroll wheel while I'm on the score, now I can drag it around, and I can show you that 4 over 1 is 1 octave up from 2 over 1, and I scroll down, 1 over 2 is 1 octave down from 1 over 1, right? Okay, now these octaves are a little big because there are a lot of possible ratios in my list, so I'm going to make them a little smaller by hitting Control minus. That zooms out vertically. Vertical and horizontal zoom are independent in this program. Okay, now I'm going to add 3 over 2, which is sol. This is the 3rd member of the harmonic series, and the 5th member of the harmonic series, which is mi, which is 5 over 4. And when I play it, you will hear a major triad. Now, I put the notes on beat 3, and in order to start on beat 3, I'm going to hit page down and move my time cursor by beats. If I hit page up, I go back by beat, and if I hit control page down, I go forward, backwards by measure. Okay, so I hit play to start the score, and it's very simple and straightforward. Now I'm also going to put the 11th harmonic up here, 11 over 4. That's not quite as consonant. It's a little more removed, and that's why I'm putting it up in this higher octave. And I'm also going to put the 7th harmonic. Okay, and let's hear what that sounds like. Now you'll notice that everything so far is a half note. I can change the duration of the hover while I'm in add mode by hitting numbers. Okay, that's 3 for an 8th note, 4, 5, 6. Now if I want a dotted duration, I hit 5 and space. That gives me a dotted half note. 4 and space gives me a dotted quarter note. If I want a triplet, if I want a half note triplet, I hit 5 and T. And you'll notice though that I can only put notes on intervals of 1/4 of a quarter note. To change that, I can hit Control 6. Now I can put notes anywhere in divisions of 1/6 of a quarter note. So I can put my triplets exactly where they need to be, right? And line up perfectly. Hit Control Z to undo those additions. You can also hit Control 45 if you want to have 45ths of a quarter note, right? I don't, so I'm just going to hit Control 4 like I had before, right? Now I can also change the duration of the hover and of any notes while I'm in edit mode, which I'll show you in a moment, by hitting Shift and up or down, right? And then to edit, hit E to go to edit mode, right? Now I'm going to just drag this note to the right duration. This note, I think I'll do it a little differently. I'll select it and I'll hit Shift down. Now it's the right duration. Now I'm going to put a 2nd chord in. I'm going back to add mode with an A, and I'm going to keep the 7 over 2 and the 3 over 2, but I'm going to invert the harmonic series here and make a subharmonic series. Now I'm going to add a note here at 21 over 8, and you'll see why in a moment. 21 over 8. Why? Now if I hold my hover over 21 over 8 and I hit T, now 21 over 8 is the new tonal center. And you'll see that all the notes now say 21 over 8 around them, and this has become 1 over 1. This 7 over 2 has become 4 over 3, and 3 over 2 has become 4 over 7. So I traded the 7 for the 3 and the 3 for the 7. I inverted the harmonic structure there. And I'm going to put another note in just to be close to one of these, the 2/5, which would be the fifth member of the subharmonic series, and we'll should hopefully give it a pretty strong harmonic pull. Now, if I want to go to return the tonal center to 1/1, all I need to do is hit G. It automatically goes back to the original 1/1. Okay, and but now the problem is that these notes don't mean a whole lot. These numbers here are a little inscrutable, and actually they're hard to see. So I'm going to hit O, which opens my output dialog. The first page here is a C sound file that you can either type in or you can load. I won't go into that right now, but if I hit I1 for instrument 1, I can change the color, make it a little darker. Okay, I can also add a C sound output. Each instrument can have any number of outputs, so they can be a C sound output, a sound font output, or an OSC output. I'm going to go with C sound. I hit C and tab. Now I have the Rationale default instrument automatically inserted there, and I'm going to turn the volume down just a little bit so I can add some more notes. Okay. All right, it's a little easier to see, but back to the problem of these ratios not meaning a whole lot. I will hit R1. When I hit R1, the hover goes into region 1. Now, it no longer needs to have the same tonal center as all these notes. These notes are all in region 0, right? So if I hold the hover over 21/8 and I hit T, like I did before, you'll see that none of the notes changed, but the hover did, right? So now region 1 is in 21/8, and if I hit R, I go to region 0. Region 0 equals 1/1, or 1:1. Okay, while I'm in region 1 here, I'm going to hit E for edit mode and select this entire chord, right click on region 1. Now this chord has a different tonal center than this chord. In most situations you won't have such an extreme change in such a short duration, but this is an illustration. Okay, I'm in region 0. Now I want to copy this structure. I'm going to hit Control A, and I enter edit mode automatically, and I select everything here. I'm going to hit Control C to copy, and now I want to move my time cursor to the end of this phrase using page down, right? And Control V to paste. It automatically inserted the position of the time cursor, bar 2, beat 2. You can change that. I'm going to add 2 repetitions because every good electronic musician knows you have to repeat a lot. Every good electronic musician knows you need to have 4 quarter notes between each repetition. Okay, and now I have 3 versions of the same thing. That can be a little boring. So I will rhythmically change these. If I hold my mouse over these notes in edit mode and hit shift, now I can drag this note horizontally and it doesn't move vertically. I can switch these notes rhythmically. Now I can drag their durations to what they should be. See? Okay, and I can also select just this chord and hold the mouse down here and just drag it straight up, and it won't move horizontally, right? I want to transpose it by a perfect fifth. And now the problem is that I started this on beat 3. I want to put it back at the beginning, so I'll select everything by Control A and then Shift in order to drag horizontally to the beginning, deselect, and I hit Home to go to the beginning and space to play. Okay, now I'm going to add some notes in instrument 2. I go to add mode and I hit shift 2. That creates instrument 2. It's just going to have the same sound as instrument 1, but I'm going to put some notes, some gray notes, right on top of the bass notes of these chords. Not exactly. But now it's a little hard to see, it's a little hard to edit what I have here. So if I want to just see instrument 2, I can hit Alt 1 and instrument 1 hides. I hit Alt S to show everything. I can hit Alt 2 to hide instrument 2. And then I can hit Alt 2 again, or I can go to the View menu show instrument 2.